Hey guys, welcome back to another Gaming Memories video. Here we are taking a look at a game by the name of Runabout 2 that was actually released in Japan and then on the US and later in Europe on the PlayStation in '99 and then later in 2000. And this game is actually the actual sequel to Felony 1179. If you haven't heard of that game, I actually have done a previous video on that. I'll make sure to drop a link down below so that you can actually go and have a look at it. And essentially it's a combat style racing game where you have to complete different objectives in each of the missions. So the game consists of around 13 missions in total throughout the campaign, and you can select like a load of number of different types of cars. Some of them like big trucks and like even like different types of vehicles, even with branded kind of vehicles as well, which is actually pretty cool. And you can damage the cars and blow everything up, and you can take loads of different shortcuts. There's loads of multiple routes and stuff throughout each of the levels. So obviously your objective is to get from the start to the finish, but to try and complete different objectives along the way. Either trying to get through the level in a set time, but also picking up certain items, or trying to steal certain items along the routes that you take throughout each of the missions. So that could be like trying to get to a certain point and pick up a box with items in it before a set time frame, and then try to escape the level before the time fully runs out. Or you may have to like hit like a car, like you see here, like where you have to like bounce into cars and crash into them, and in turn some of those cars may be one of the objectives where you have to crash into it and actually steal something from the car, and again try and escape as quickly as you possibly can. The original game, Felony 1179, used a similar concept. It actually had the same kind of aesthetic, even graphically as well. This game now is very similar, although the graphics are a little bit more refined in this game compared to the original title. But essentially it's very similar in how it plays, but you've a couple of different style of vehicles, and the game actually sounds and runs a wee bit faster than the original title. Plus the cars as well, the sounds actually sound a little bit more authentic, because in the original game you could be driving say a Mini, but then it sounds like you're driving a lorry or a tractor. The sounds didn't reflect the vehicles that you were driving in the original game. That was the one kind of major gripe with it. But the original game, I remember playing like a demo of it, and to be honest, the games are hilarious. They're so much fun, and this game keeps with that same kind of formula as well. It's difficult. There's a lot to do in it throughout each of the missions, but you'll have a blast with playing, especially if you want to play with your mates and even just take turns of doing the levels and so forth. Even just to do a bit of exploring, like what we used to do, like in the original game, and literally just go around and trying to find all the shortcuts and see if we can find any secrets, or try to kind of see if we can find any glitches where you can potentially take advantage of the game and so forth. Because that was the fun thing we used to find with a lot of games like that you could find those little niggles in the game and exploit them. And this game here is quite similar to that. So again, it keeps on the same formula as the original title, and it's actually just as much fun. Now the levels in this are a lot different compared to the original as well. Like you're in different types of environments, but the gameplay style is still technically the same. Because in the original game you only had access to like 3 tracks, so the game was very short. This game has 13 missions. It has a few more tracks compared to the original, but not too many more. But it's still like long enough to keep you playing for a little while. So it is actually an enjoyable title. I definitely would recommend, if you're into these type of games at all and you want something to play that's just actually fun, these are some of the best laughs you'll actually have, because it has a bit of everything. It has like racing, there's combat elements in it where you crash into stuff, you can run over like sidewalks and people are running out to get out of your way, and you can hear them screaming and the whole lot. You can just cause as much chaos and mayhem as humanly possible, so you can actually have quite a good blast with this game. And it's literally just taken off from the first game. Like I said, you just destroy everything in your way, so it's actually a really good laugh. It's pretty much just more of the same. It's essentially just sticking to what already works in the past, and they just refined it just slightly. The handling now is definitely a bit more refined in the game as well compared to the original title, because the original game, the handling was a little bit on the sluggish side, because even though the cars you were driving, sometimes it still felt like you were driving like a little bit like a tank, but it still didn't take away from how much fun you could actually have with the game. This game definitely has made a few tweaks and so forth. So it definitely is a little bit of a step up, but again, it kept the same formula, which is actually pretty cool. And it's great to play these type of games because you don't see games like this really, so you don't, and you definitely don't see them in modern titles. So the only chances you have to play games like this are literally to go back and play these older style games, because they're the only ones like on this era of gaming that actually tried all these kind of styles and different unique kind of concepts. That's why I love the 32-bit era and likes with the PlayStation and all these type of consoles around it, because they really tried to be creative with the games, and even with the limitations of the hardware, they were still able to make really fun and quirky games. And this definitely is an example of putting all those pieces together. Right, it's not perfect, it's not the best game in the world, but what it does offer, it offers an abundance, and you definitely will have a blast with playing it. So I do recommend that you try out this game, or even play the original title. Again, be sure to check out the first link below to see that as well if you haven't watched it already. So I'd love to know your thoughts on this game, and I'd love to know what your experiences are with it. Did you enjoy it back in the day, and did you have as many laughs playing it as I did, I think, from the original title? Be sure to share it down in the comments below. So if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. Also be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be updated whenever I release future content, and also make sure to share the video, as I am going to be re-exploring a lot more of these quirky classic games and actually share my experiences and thoughts with everyone. So as always, make sure to keep playing those classic games and enjoying them, and keep those gaming memories alive.